take a look at the West Bank, Palestinians, PLO, Reverend Farrakhan, it all sounds like a little bit violent, right? Well, the one thing threading these elements together is the religion of Islam. But what is Islam, and has anyone taken the time to study these so-called scary people called Muslims? Are they peaceful or warlike? What is their God, Allah, like? And how do they worship? Do they really raise their kids to hate whites as the devil, or are they more strict and orderly than the most fervent of Christians? These are just some of the questions that will be answered tonight, not by foreigners, not by the American press, which gets no deeper than a teaspoon, but by Muslims who live and work in the United States. Muslims in America. Who are they, and what do they preach? We're going to find out, and we might not like it. We're going to find out Downey style. Come on. Tell you, gang, what we're talking about is faith that includes such diverse elements as Reverend Louis Farrakhan, men and women in the inner cities of this country, and people like Lou Alcindor and Cassius Clay changing what they call their slave names to Muslims' names. So we're going to get started right now with some of the guests that we have with us, and I wish you folks, let me introduce first of all Mr. T.B. Irving, who is an Islamic scholar. And do I pronounce your name properly? Aya Abdul Karim?
Almost. Aliyah Abdul Karim. Aliyah, right.
Now, I like some information cards that I can take a look at because there's more information on this program than I am willing to say I know. I am not a student of the Muslim religion. I am not knowledgeable as to whether there is a comparison between Allah and our God, or Jesus, or Mohammed. Would you explain for me, sir, first, would you explain for me the difference between Allah and God? God in the Christian context and Allah in the Muslim context.
I was in the Arabic context and the English.
All right, sir. Arabic and English is all it is?
I would say so.
So they're both God?
Yes.
Are they the same God?
Why not?
Is Jesus then also God, or
No.
the Son of God?
No.
But Jesus to the Christian religion is the Son of God and part of the triumvirate of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So how can we have a Trinity here and a singular God there? I mean, what is the difference?
The Trinity is mistaken.
Trinity is mistaken. But then if Christians feel the Trinity is mistaken, I should say if Muslims feel the Trinity is mistaken, is it all right for Christians to feel that maybe Muslims are mistaken?
If they want, that's their own opinion.
So yours isn't an opinion, yours is a fact, ours is only an opinion. Is that what you're saying to me?
No, I'm not saying that.
Well, what? Boy, it's going to be a little tougher to get at than I imagined in the beginning. Ma'am, perhaps you can explain to me the difference between Christianity and the Muslim religion.
Okay, basically there's just one difference. We all, Christians and Muslims, admit that there is a creator, a one God, who is the creator of mankind, the universe, the entire planet, Earth, and everything that's in it.
And everything that grows or has ever lived.
That's right. And that is Allah. That is the name that the Muslims call him. It is the same God of the Christians, the God of the Buddhists, the God of everyone. The difference is that some Christians, not all Christians, believe that Jesus is God, or the Son of God, or the Spirit of God.
Well, if they are Christians, they believe that Jesus is the Son of God.
Not all Christians.
Then they cannot call themselves Christian, as the word Christian comes from the word Christ.
There are some followers of Christianity who are Unitarians, and they believe in the concept of one God.
You're right. They have been swallowed up as being part of Christianity, where in reality they are not Christians.
Oh, they claim themselves to be Christians. They
Well,
say
they
that
should
they're
change their
Christians.
name because the word Christ is where the word Christian comes from.
No,
right?
well, actually, as Dr. Irving said, this whole concept of the Trinity was a concept that was developed after Christ died. Christ never said that he was the Son of God, nor did he say that he was God himself. Christ, according to Islamic belief, was a man who was a prophet, a very special man, like the Prophet Muhammad, but he was not God.
Well, let me also ask you, is there anything in Islam that is anti-ethical to our American concept of one nation under God?
There is one universe under God, so why not one nation under God?
Okay. TJ, we here in America associate the religion of Islam with black people. You, sir, obviously are white. Where do you fit in, and why do we have the misconception that Islam is strictly black people?
Why strictly?
Pardon me?
Why strictly?
I say, why do we have that misconception?
Because it's a misconception.
Okay, why do we have it, sir? I understand it's a
I would say,
misconception. I said that.
the first
Get a
group-
little deeper for me.
Well, the first group of people who were brought to this continent happened to be Africans. I'm not going to say slaves. They were kidnapped, and they were brought here by, I would say, a Spanish bishop called Las Casas said, when they found out that smallpox.
He was the original purchaser, wasn't he, in Africa?
No, he wasn't. He was a bishop.
Who, you just said, they were brought here by Bishop so-and-so.
No, it was his idea to bring them here because he found that in Puerto Rico, the Indians were being killed off by hard labor and smallpox. The same thing happened in Mexico.
Okay, so before we get into a rehashing of slavery and whether they were kidnapped or whether their own tribes sold them, let's get back to
Well, no, but
Islam.
Las Casas is very important because he said if we're getting rid of, if we're losing our labor force here in Mexico, let's go to Africa, kidnap them, and since they're mostly Muslim, bring them there and make them into Christians. And they were brought not only to the United States, but to all of, and the United States didn't exist then, but they were brought to the West Indies.
How
They were
many,
brought-
how many members of Islam are there? Yeah?
In the United States you're
No,
talking about?
all over the world.
Oh, there's several billion. I'm not quite
1
sure.
1 billion.
1 billion.
1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fully 1/4.
No, it's 20%.
There's now 5 billion people on Earth. Oh, I haven't read the damn birth pages recently. Okay, so you got 5 billion people. You got 20% of them are Islam,
Are Muslims.
Muslim.
Muslim. Of that number, what percentage of that is black? What percentage of that is white?
I never thought of it, but most of Africa is Muslim, and if Africa is about 300 million, I would say probably half of that are Muslims.
So you've got about 150 million Muslims in Africa.
Yes,
Meaning then that the rest of the Muslim would be white. Is that what you're
White?
saying?
no, they'll be in Asia.
Asians are white. Is that right?
What?
Asians are... You know, I'm not getting a damn place here. No wonder the newspapers are having such a hell of a time wondering what the hell it's all about. Aliyah, in this country, a 20-year-old white man becomes born again, and we think it's wonderful. A 21-year-old black man converts to Islam and is seen as a renegade making a political statement.
Right.
Why?
Because of the manipulation of the press, I think that there's a fear, a great fear of Islam because of the misinterpretation historically throughout the ages. Number one, Islam is perceived, and mistakenly so, by many to be a religion that is primarily spread by the sword. Commonly, the press and the system, the educational system, has represented Muslims as wild, fiery-eyed renegades, making a statement against some established system. And this is why we have these misperceptions.
Is that misperception because we take a look at people like the Ayatollah when he was around and the press that we would read about if they charge into battle, they immediately, and they die, they are martyrs to, and they immediately go to Allah. Is that the type of propaganda that we heard?
Yes, and it's because of the concentration on that type of propaganda. You never get to see another side of the Muslim in another arena. But that's one side.
But indeed, that side, as far as that particular sect, the Shiite sect, did seem to exist, didn't it?
I don't deny that. No.
So just like in Christianity, there are many sects. In that particular religion, there are also many sects. I want to take a break here, and because we're going to come back and talk about Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, and Malcolm X. Those are names that are all very familiar to Americans, and we'll study this area of the religion next. Stand by.
I like to keep things moving in the right direction. Straight down.
Let's see if we can start. See if we can start unraveling. Step back. See if we can unravel some of this, because frankly, I'm a little confused right now myself. Mustafa Majid joins us at Loudmouth number 2 as the executive director of the Communications Industries Skills Center. Of course, you've met Aya, who's at home base with us, and at home base also joining us is Minister Hunza Al-Hafiz. Is that
Hafiz,
correct?
that's correct, yes.
A hell of a time with these names. Loudmouth number 1, Mohammed Abdul Malik. Correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Let me start, please, then, with the minister. Here in this country, the Nation of Islam, which was founded by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, called all white people devils. Now, that was originally. Don't we have justification to fear, then, a religion that would call all white people devils?
Make a correction here. Number one is that it was not founded by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but was founded by Master Faraz Muhammad. And Elijah Muhammad, we believe him to be the messenger of Master Faraz Muhammad. We accept him as God.
He was a disciple and a messenger.
Disciple or messenger?
All right, sir.
Yes.
The question again is, did white people have the right to fear a religion that called all white people devils?
I don't think so.
Why?
Number one, that you take the word devils, according to Webster, it means a deceiver. Who would deny?
Well, of course, that's according to Webster, but most of us are Christians, therefore we think of the devil as Satan.
True.
Satan is evil.
That's right.
And evil as something to control.
It's true, but you understand what Mr. Muhammad meant when he said devil. He meant a deceiver.
Well, he didn't say check Webster's dictionary.
Well, he said it to us.
Said it to you, and if he said it to you, did you ever say it to anyone else?
Oh, yes.
But the press never wrote that, did they?
Well, I was on Barbara Walters' show, and they played that.
They did say that it was a deceiver.
A deceiver, yes.
All right. Mustafa, tell me, if you will, please, what's the difference between a rally held by Minister Louis Farrakhan and one held by the secret brother of the KKK?
Morton, first of all, Islam was brought to the black man because of the condition that black folks was in back in the 20s and the 30s was totally unbearable. First of all, everything that the black man was taught was from the white man, to make a black man and a black woman feel that they was inferior. They had no religion, they had no country, they had no language, they had nothing.
Then
because the slave master, let me finish.
Please tell me what color Muhammad was.
Elijah Muhammad was a black man.
No, Muhammad. I guess he was probably one of the great prophets of the religion.
He could have been my complexion. He could have been this brother here complexion, your complexion. But in Islam, there's no color because you have Japanese Muslims. You got Muslims in Russia. You got Muslims in China. You got Spanish Muslims. You got Muslims throughout this world.
But that doesn't answer the question as to why it's a black religion versus a white religion, whereas Christianity, you have all of those people.
Let me finish. Elijah Muhammad knew that in order for him to get the black man to come on his side and to teach him those things that they did not know from themselves, what he did was that he took and used reverse psychology. He said, since you so love the slave master, now I'm going to tell you that the slave master is a devil.
So he used hate to teach love.
No, it's not hate. It's not hate because, first of all, hate was the product that put the black man and woman in the condition that they're in, okay? Everything on TV, every magazine you read, every album cover from every singer, you could not put a black face on it. So they put flowers, they put everything on there to sell albums or whatever. What I'm saying is that they totally destroyed the black man, his whole being of living, being a human being. So Elijah Muhammad knew that he had a task that he had to fight. First of all, there was...
But let me ask you something. Was he fighting that task for the black man and the black woman? Because we all know that in the early days of the record business, great sellers like Lena Horne had their picture on the album.
No. I'm talking about before Lena Horne. I'm talking
You
about...
didn't have albums before Lena Horne.
I'm talking about... See, when Lena Horne was playing, when Lena Horne was making songs, I'm talking about the majority. I'm not talking about one or two. I'm not talking about one or two. You know, I'm talking about the majority of whatever, sport, whatever it was, the black man was always down. Okay. So there was someone that came that understood the conditions of the black man and woman. And when he brought Islam to black folks in general, this was something new to them. This was something that they never had. He taught them how to clean themselves up. Stop eating hog. Stop beating on your women. Stop disrespecting your neighborhood. He did all these things to raise them up, take them off of drugs. The hospitals couldn't take us off drugs. They gave you one drug to cure another drug. But Elijah Muhammad gave you some knowledge and some wisdom up in your head, you know what I'm saying, to change all of that.
When did he really start moving with this religion in this country?
Started back in the 30s.
In the 30s.
The 30s.
How many black Muslims are there in this country?
You got, right now, I would say maybe 1 million. And those, even black politicians, they won't come out and say, I'm a Muslim, because when you talk about religion is something sensitive. You say the wrong things, like say something about somebody's mother or father. They ready to fight. So religion is something that's very touchy, and you got to know how to deal with it. But Elijah Muhammad being a master, you know what I'm saying, of knowing what this society was about, because he had experience on himself what he would go through if he said something about the Christianity religion, about the Jewish religion. So therefore he was careful. That's why he told us not to carry weapons.
What is the goal, Mr. Malik, right now of the Muslim religion in the United States?
Before I can define that, just for clarification, which may be offensive to most, if not white or black, that what Elijah Muhammad brought indeed was not Islam. Now, whether or not we would like to admit that or not is something that we must face because it's the reality. Islam is separate from individuals. Islam has its own criteria, and as Muslims, our guidelines is the Quran and the Sunnah, the example of Prophet Muhammad. Has nothing to do with race.
Okay.
Racism, whether it was done in a method of blackness or whiteness, all of it's wrong. The Quran says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, which means I seek refuge with God from the cursed one, Satan. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. This is what Islam says, that verily the best of you in the sight of Almighty God is not the richest or the poorest, the whitest or the blackest, but he or she that has the most God consciousness. So Islam is not a racist religion. It's not for black people. It's not for white people. Islam is a universal religion. It means submission to the will of God. So
but does it like a lot of religions?
But Morton, what I would like to say to that, and the brother, he's correct in what he's saying, but
I say that, only reason I say that is because if we spend time on trying to justify Elijah Muhammad's position in reference to Islam, there's no need to have this discussion.
Brother. You have to bring that out.
We don't have to justify Elijah Muhammad's position. We don't have to justify Muhammad's position. We don't justify Elijah Muhammad's position at all.
If we want to define
we don't justify
religion,
Elijah Muhammad taught
hold it, my brother. If
whether
we
you
want
accept
to,
it in Islam or not, that is your prerogative. But Elijah Muhammad taught Islam. We accept Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad taught nothing against
you accept it. No problem.
We're not here to argue about Elijah Muhammad.
We can only do so for 1 minute. For 1 minute, let this gentleman
conclude.
Please let me speak. Because you have 30 seconds.
30 seconds is sufficient. What I'm saying is that whether it's Islam or Christianity or any other religion, religion is not what you preach, it is what you practice. If we want to define what Islam is, we must go back to the source, regardless of a man's interpretation. I don't give a damn how they interpret it. The Quran itself is self-sufficient.
All right, so
that's what I'm saying.
Brother, you are totally right. But I want you to keep in mind that we are young to Islam. I'm not a professor in Islam, but I know that when Elijah Muhammad started on the black man's head and on his brain, you could not bring him pure Islam.
That's untrue,
Let me finish, brother.
With you
Let me
if
finish.
you're going to teach the people the truth,
Let him finish.
no problem.
There was a lot of blacks when they heard Islam being taught. As soon as Elijah Muhammad said, you can't eat no more pork, you can't go out and party, you can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't fornicate, you can't commit adultery, the majority of them left. The majority of them left. He didn't talk about it. He could have went even further into Islam, as you say, pure Islam. If he would have went into that, excuse me, brother, excuse me, because we come from slavery. We wasn't raised up, but we wasn't in an Islamic country.
Brother Mustafa, let's deal with the pure truth.
I'll let you talk. Let me talk, please.
Sure.
We was not raised up in an Islamic country. So by not being raised up in an Islamic country, we don't know the customs. There's something coming new to me. I'm a grown man. Now you can tell me that I've been drinking and smoking, committing fornication for 20 years, and now because of what I hear,
that's not the worst thing, Brother Mustafa. Those are not the worst things you mentioned.
It sounds good, and now I have to take and give that up. Elijah Muhammad knew what he was doing. There was Islam.
I see your point.
No, there was Islam in America now.
You had to
but
use...
Elijah Muhammad brought it to the surface.
All right, I see his point. I see his point.
Muslim from the Middle
I
East.
see your point, but I see the purity of his point.
From Elijah Muhammad.
Come on.
I say to you, in all honesty, my people,
speaking to the microphone because otherwise nobody hears.
I want y'all to hear me and listen to me very clearly.
Do it in 30 seconds.
30 seconds is sufficient. I'm saying that if you want, I'm saying very humbly, if we want to define Islam and the criteria for one to be a Muslim, it is not Elijah Muhammad's philosophy. If you want to bring the people, brother, regardless whether they're black, white, green, hold it, brother. Hold it. Let's stay on one point. If you want to tell the people the truth, see, we can't guide people. God will guide whom he wills. You can't guide them. You don't tell a lie in order to place another lie. If it's God's will that black folks find their way into Islam, that's his will. But we don't need to use deception. Elijah Muhammad took one philosophy that was a lie and used another one as a lie. That's not Islam.
Brother, how do we
you
get
want
it?
to tell the people about the religion of Islam? Bring Islam, brother. Bring Islam.
Brother, let me hear this gentleman. Go ahead,
sir, because I think that the gentleman protests too much. He spends too much time slandering Elijah Muhammad. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us this.
Well, I don't think it's slander,
all right, this is my point. He said it is not necessary to criticize the dirty glass. Place a clean glass beside it. When one tells me that we don't have to go to the source, you can't prove the source of Islam. Because you say you follow the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad. But your Holy Quran would tell you this, that the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, did not write the Holy Quran. It came into being after he died.
No one disputes that.
So don't talk about the Prophet Muhammad. You don't know what the Prophet Muhammad taught.
You don't know. I do.
You don't know. You accept
I
it.
do know. I
you
studied and dedicated my time.
You can't
I know,
you weren't there. Your Holy Quran tell you weren't there.
Do you believe in the
So
Quran?
in other words, we can't believe as Christians in our Bible because we weren't there.
You accept it or reject it.
Okay. So that's what you're doing is you're saying he can accept it or reject it.
That's what I'm saying to him.
But he has accepted the Quran. It sounds like you haven't accepted.
No, I'll tell you.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I'll tell you that. This ain't this shit of the Quran. That the word Quran means that which must be read or that which should be read.
Let's come back and find about women, drugs, and crime, all right? Stand by. Interesting discussion between these two gentlemen here and the minister up here. Very, very interesting discussion. But, Ali, I want to come to you for a second. If indeed Islam is a religion of equality, would it be possible for a woman to be head of a mosque, which would be the equivalency, I guess, of a priest?
No, it would not be possible. And in terms of male-female relationships in Islam, there are roles for males and females that are complementary. Men and women are not equal because they are not the same. When you talk about equality, you mean sameness. In Islam, we see women as having a complementary role to men. Men have one role and women have another, and they work together like a circle.
All right, let me go to Mr. Malik then. Mr. Malik, what does the Holy Quran say about the woman's role in society, in the family?
As the sister said, and I agree with her, that in Islam, men and women are not equal in the sense of equality, but everyone has a role to play, whether it's men and women or men and children. Everyone has an equal role to play.
Children, indeed, sir, is that not a form of slavery in itself, that the religion dictates that one is going to play a role, whether that person wants to play the role or not? Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay, I just want to say one thing. In the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of the universe, women will have to answer on the day of judgment, just as men will. Our deeds will be counted in the same way that the deeds of men will be counted. I am responsible. I take my sins and my blessings to my grave, and on the day of judgment, I will have to answer just like any Muslim male that has lived in this life. But to corroborate what Sister Aliyah said, the roles of men and women are complementary. It's like having a pilot and a co-pilot. He has to do X, Y, and Z. I do A, B, and C. But in terms of intellect, in terms of what I have
if you wanted to do X, Y, and Z? And you said, hell, I don't want to do A, B, and C.
Because in terms of what my religion has taught me, and in terms of what I believe deeply in my heart, I know the avenues that I can venture in and the avenues that I'm not supposed to venture in. However, I am still held with the highest respect and the highest honor in the sight of the brothers that are in my faith.
Are you married?
Not presently.
If you were married, could you be one of more than one wife to the man you were married to?
I have been more than one wife in the past, and I understand.
Did you not feel a form of a certain disrespect in that sense?
Oh, of course not. First of all, it wasn't...
Has your God given you the same, and we say we all have the same God, has your God given you the same cop-out he's given us as Christians, and that is, if the moment before I pass, I say to God, I am sorry for all of my sins, that I instantly enter the kingdom of heaven? Is your,
Oh, definitely not.
Your God, so how the hell is this the same God?
First of all, the religion of Muslims, we believe, as Muslims, we believe our religion was the religion of Adam, of Abraham, of Isaac, all the prophets that lived and died, and that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was the last apostle sent from Allah, sent from the creator of the universe to guide mankind, to give mankind that one last chance to make it into the garden, to make it, in the Arabic term, into Jannah, Jannah Firdaus. That's what I strive for. That's what all Muslims strive for.
We've heard the equality now, of which there seems to be a difference of opinion here. Let me go again to Abdul. Well, Abdul, come back up here. I'm not going to let you off so easy. You look too damn comfortable back there. You're a member of the congregation led by Yam Sinaj Wahad. I think that's the proper pronunciation.
No, let us make it proper. His name is Imam Siraj Wahad.
All right, good. A good man, and a friend, I might add, of this show, because he's been here before. Tell my audience what you were doing to clean up the drug and crime problem in the streets of New York.
We were implementing what Islam has taught us to implement in society. And that is, the Quran says that let there be a band among the believers, male and female, enjoining what is good and forbidding what is evil. And in the tradition of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, he stated that let him who sees an evil do one out of three things, or all three of them. Either change it with your hand, speak out against it, or hate it in your heart. And that is the weakest level of faith. So as Muslims, we took it upon ourselves in living the life of a Muslim in this society to do something that would not only benefit the Muslims in the neighborhood, but the people at large.
Okay, let me come back to you again. What is, I guess, the Islamic answer to what goes on in this country an awful lot? Single parenthood or to homelessness?
In Islam, and this is the ideal situation, every woman should have a mate. The whole push toward the single-parent family, the advocacy of women having children without a father is something that is not condoned in Islam.
Well,
okay?
Children without an in-home father.
All right. You mentioned polygamy, being married to more than one wife. The polygamous solution in Islam took into consideration women without mates, without husbands, children without homes. It was a mercy for women who had no husbands. It was a mercy for children who had no parents.
About husbands who had no wives. Couldn't the wives taken in 3 or 4 husbands?
No, this is not allowed in Islam. Basically, men are perceived as those who protect women. And you see, we have to get to understand the role of a man in Islam. Number one, he's supposed to be the protector, the defender, the guide.
And the provider.
And the provider, definitely. Okay? The woman is supposed to take care of the home. She can marry. I think we have a misperception of the role of women in Islam because the Prophet himself, may peace be upon him, married a dynamic woman. She was 15 years older than he. She was a businesswoman. She had a business that reaped great wealth. She was a woman who was well known in her community. She was not a wimp, a weeping willow of a woman, which is something that a lot of people think that Muslim women are.
So did that become his only wife?
The Prophet Muhammad had 9 wives in education, and
Starting to think I might be able to be a Mohammedan.
She was, his first wife was Khadijah. He was married to her for quite a while. She was a mother of his children, and he married these women not because he liked marrying, but these women were older women. How many young men today would marry a woman who was 40, 50? He didn't go after the young ones necessarily. He went after the ones who needed protection.
Okay. I want to proceed now because we're going to find out how many people actually call Allah God. We've heard the figure 1 million. I've heard the figure 1.5 million, billion, I should say, and what it really means to the people in this country, where we're going with that. Stay with us, please. Mohammed, let me introduce the loudmouth one, please. Mohammed Mendez, right? An American Puerto Rican Muslim. Mohammed, please, if you would, as an American Puerto Rican Muslim, what do you feel about the Ayatollah Khomeini and his anti-American revolution in Islam?
At this point, we, as a Muslim, we worship Allah, and we don't want to make any division among our Muslims.
No division among the Muslims, so therefore Adolf Hitler is a Christian. We never should have said anything about Adolf Hitler, right?
Well,
because we didn't
it's a touchy situation.
It is,
you know,
it's a touchy situation, but I would bet if I went to Mr. Malik, was a student of the Quran, that he would probably, I won't put words in your mouth. Tell me, sir.
Martin, you know you're good, but you're not that good. Let me say this to you.
Good for you. Good for you.
Let me say this
I welcome you to say anything you want to. You're wrong, but say it anyhow.
That is this. You can't determine I'm wrong unless you listen to me. Let me say that we're not going to defend Khomeini.
I can't determine you're right unless you'll use your mouth to say something.
Exactly. Listen, we're not going to defend Khomeini. Let me say this. We're not going to defend Khomeini. We're not going to defend anyone. Wrong is wrong and right is right. It is not my position to say Khomeini is this, Khomeini is that. If we want to talk about Islam, we have to separate Islam from Khomeini. If you want to talk about Khomeini, then that's another platform. This is not the platform for that. If we want to talk about the religion of Islam and what Islam teaches, Islam
All right,
is
let
against...
me ask
let
you
me say this.
What did Islam teach?
Okay, I'm going to say
and
this
did
right
the
now.
Ayatollah learn the teachings well?
Okay, let me say this. That I'm not going to fool myself and say that Muslims throughout the Eastern world have not been terrorists. Indeed, they have been terrorists. Just because a person says that they are Muslim doesn't mean that they can't be involved in crime. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. So I'm saying
that yes, whether or not it's the
Martin.
Muslims of Lebanon,
Martin, you know,
Damn good answer.
Martin,
Africa,
but you know, when
the
you talk
Muslims of any particular nation, wrong is wrong and right is right. I
Okay.
don't agree with everything
I've
you
heard it.
said.
I agree. I
Martin,
hear.
see, America, or the American people, because there's only a few that runs America. Everybody else just follows and listens or whatever. They deceive the people, then they deceive
Okay,
until
get me
it comes out. I went to Libya, and I was with a delegation, and we went and we saw the ruins of Gaddafi. When we went there, first of all, when I got to Kennedy Airport, it was almost like I was, the whole airport was very quiet. They took my passport, they Xeroxed it. Then the plane sat there for about 2 hours. In fact, we didn't even tell them where we was going. But apparently the FBI knew where we was going at. We got to Italy. We had a little slight problem there. And we went from Malta to Libya.
How long after the bombing of that slime ball? What was
Well, that after the bombing, it showed the ruins, showed where his daughter was killed in the bombing.
Turned out to be a false report, as we all know.
When I was there in Libya, first of all, the Libyan government, I hear people call somebody a madman and this and that. First of all, when you go and see it for yourself, then you can speak on it.
You can speak on what they allowed you to see.
Well, whatever. But I took a car and I drove throughout the whole town. Because I like to go out and see where people are living. I don't stay in a group and they just drive me here, that type of thing. Anyway, the Libyan government, the education is free. The health care is free. They have several things in this country that the citizens don't have to pay for at all.
No, that's great.
Now, when
anyone who wants to go to Libya, go, baby.
When I came back here, the whole airport was filled with FBI agents. And when I went up to give them my passport, coming back into America, they took the passport and they actually wanted to speak to everyone because there was a delegation that was going to Chicago, California. So I went and I spoke to them, and they were saying, "Well, did you stay at? Where did you go from Malta?" I said, "I went to Libya." They said, "Well, we don't see a stamp." I said, "I'm telling you, that's where I went. I wasn't sitting in the middle of the sea. I went to Mort. They didn't stamp it because they didn't want to stamp it."
But I've seen that type of unprogramming after someone's traveled to.
But I'm just saying that when we came back, it was almost like it was unjustified for us going like, who sent 200 blacks to Libya or to any other country? As I look at it, is that I'm an American citizen, and if I want to go to my native country, I'm going there.
All right. I want to ask this gentleman a question and have him ask a question when we come back, sir. We're going to do that in just a minute. Come on.
If you live in the tri-state area and would like to be a part of our studio audience, write to Mort Tickets, 9 Broadcast Plaza, Secaucus, New Jersey, 07096. Please include your telephone number. Did anyone here quit smoking?
How does that strange?
Oh, that looks great.
And it takes AA batteries? God, is that odd. And these just are in the just flying around the jungle, huh?
Yeah, usually at night.
Okay. Get him off. Get him off. Oh, God. Jeez, that's very strange. How much of that looks like it's got some weight to it? How much is that?
It's pretty bulky.
Yeah, it's about 6-8 pounds. All right, Sally, we want to make sure we see everything else here.
Okay.
You pressed his little nose.
He's okay. And I know you'd like this, being New Yorker.
Are these alive?
Uh-huh.
No. These, I'm guessing, are cockroaches, right?
Right. These are from Central and South America. These are giant...
Elijah Muhammad taught us Islam. He could not teach the Islam of 1,400 years ago because the medicines in that day could not cure the sicknesses of today. Slow down, brother. Let me finish. The Holy Prophet Muhammad never was a slave. He always knew who he was. He could speak his native tongue, and he never was robbed and stripped of everything. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad came with a new Islam because we didn't know who we were. We were stripped of our native tongue and our name and our culture and everything else. Slow down, brother. Slow down.
Why do you keep saying new Islam?
Because it is a new Islam, brother.
Nothing new about it.
Brother,
the Quran is the Quran.
Mr. Downing
the
said
Sunnah
that
is
he
the
was going to
Sunnah.
allow me to speak. The truth doesn't hurt anybody but the guilty. Now, whether you like it or not, you and I got on the same uniform. We both black. But yet you standing up here slack on the job acting like you know Muhammad of 1,400 years ago who you never seen nor heard, but you saw and heard Muhammad of 1900 all the way up until he departed. So how can you sit here and act like
did you ever see Elijah Muhammad?
I'm not acting like an Arab.
Yes, sir.
Did you?
You know what?
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings was for the descendant of slavery, not Puerto
That wasn't for me, because I'm not
Let me tell you
slave.
something, sir. Wait a second.
That's not
now.
for me. I'm not
Let's
descendant of
stop burying ourselves in the belly of slavery. Every person in here, black, white, yellow, at one time is descended from a slave. One time.
I would like to ask a question. Well, why is it if I ask anybody in here, I say, where are you from? He might say, I'm Chinese American. I said, well, where are you from? He
And
say,
the
I'm Puerto
Chinese
Rican
Americans were used
But yet
as
if you ask
slaves
a
to
black
build a
person in here,
railroad.
they're going to tell you they're American so-called Negro. Why do they put America before themselves? Because they don't have any country, Mort. Come on, let's face the reality of the truth.
I'm an Irish
Where's
American.
Negro land?
I'm an Irish
Where's
American.
Negro land?
There is
I'm
no
not an
Negro
Afro-American because you know that this whole continent
Sure
at
you're
one
an
time was
Afro-American.
Asian.
You're an Afro-American.
I'm not Afro-American.
Baby, if you're going to take us back to living on top of a glacier, we're never going to get it.
I'm from the whole planet Earth. Anywhere you found me, everywhere the white man sailed, he found the black man.
And
everything that you found.
Don't fill me with your hate of 500 years ago. I'm not interested in it.
Fill you with hate.
Yeah, don't fill me with it.
Let's
have some love.
Let me tell you something. If I'm filling you with hate, Mort, then you understand, listen to what I'm going to say. All light come out the dark. Is that right?
All light come out the
In
dark?
the beginning, the earth was covered with darkness, black people, and then God said, let there be light, white people. Where do you think you came from?
Well, hey, you read it? You see? Forget the break sign. We're having a good discussion.
Very good.
All right? If you saw the Bible saying, and the universe was black, and then God said, let there be light, you yourself, sir, have made a determination.
Well, listen, Mort, you know I'm the father and you the son. Aren't you Ma's son? Ain't you the mason? Did you build up America? Ain't you the mason?
Hey, pal, do you hate this country so much that every white guy is your enemy?
Slow down. This is my country.
Don't give me any of your interpolation bullcrap, because you're not making any sense.
How come I'm not making any sense?
You're not making any sense. Because I'm not trying to say that white is superior.
Your country? Is this just your country? Is this just your country? You own this country?
Hey, gang, are you mad as hell, huh? Well, let the rest of the world hear about it on my TV show. Send me a 1/2-inch VHS cassette no longer than 90 seconds. If I think you got a gripe, on the tube it goes. And if you get yours on, some great gift. Come on, pal. Now ain't the time to zip it. Here's the address.
When you go...
To order a transcript, send $3 to TV Transcripts, Mort and Downey Jr. Show, Box 1649, Alpine, California, or call 1-619-788-MORT.
See if I got $3 on me. Go ahead, pal. Any questions? Any comments?
Yes.
Go back and forth this gentleman.
As Black Americans, what were your viewpoints when the Ayatollah Khomeini sent out that death threat to Salman Rushdie?
The truth don't hurt anybody but the guilty. Let's speak of the 310 years free slave labor, and also before.
Let me hear this, gentlemen. I am not going to go
Here's what you don't understand.
I do understand, sir. You were mistreated. Your people were mistreated. A lot of people have been mistreated.
That's why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth to do more listening than talking.
Watch me, pal. You've been watching too many people who have more than 1 mouth.
Now listen to this here.
Let me hear.
Before there were any Muslims, black Muslims, or Negroes, the so-called American Negroes, before there was any more, listen carefully, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad had to come through the cemetery of the King James Version of the Bible. That's why he's our messenger, because we was all in the cross. We was in Christianity. He couldn't come with no Quran, because we were Christians.
All right. Okay, let me hear this, gentleman. Please, let me hear this, gentleman.
Basically, I would like to give a message to you, to the audience, to everybody here in America about our relationship with this group. He asked for clarity. He asked for the reality. Let me give you the reality. There are 2 realities, both saying that they're Muslim. One is Islam, the religion. The second is a black nationalist philosophy, which is clothed with Islam.
So one is political, one is religious.
One is Islam, and the other one is black nationalism.
Let's learn to separate the two, folks. Thank you for being here, and we'll learn more because we'll do this show again. Thank you.
All right, Mr.
Kick ass, gang! Come on!